did you think of Kimu's fighting style?
I see. He was just running around, wasn't he? I don't remember much of anything.
I see.
Absolutely. I think they came to win. I thought there wouldn't be a problem with Las Vegas Picasso and Athletic Football Madrid.
Picasso acted as expected, saying ciao.
Picasso is already a thing of the past.
As for Ahmad Arif,
Will it really come to pass, or is there more to it? Hara. It's puzzling. I wonder if it will be revealed. I was shocked when I saw the height of Nick Bull. It's around the minimum class level, right?
right?
It's about the body length.
So that's right. What do you think about that player, Igami?
Well, we can't really predict what will happen, but what about the player Naoya?
Absolutely.
He has ducked Ahmad Aliyev twice after an order. Now he's getting ordered for a third time and he will die. Give up his right as undisputed champion rather than make a mandatory defense against Ahmad Liv. Watch. Talk about fighting Picasso in Vegas. It gives a...
Are they really thinking that they are increasing their prosperity? I don't understand, though.
You're saying something like you always want to run away, right?
That's right, isn't it?
That's a bit unpleasant, isn't it?
That's right, isn't it?
Since I lost Intapales, that's why...
Things like this.
I'm saying this because this happened. If I had won everything...
I can go already.
That's just how it is. You know, you have to do it against an opponent, playing with Nakatani, for example.
How do you feel about it? It's not particularly good for phaser level people to think about the righteousness of Nakatani.
Will the righteousness of Nakatani, a phaser level person, increase?
Perspective. Welcome to Character, that's thin. Today we have a very special guest in the studio. It's Mr. Clear Lake. Please take care of me. It's been a long time. Are you doing well?
Are you feeling energetic?
Are you happy these days? Did you get injured during the match since your fist is hurt?
I'm getting better and should be okay around December. I've been gradually getting back into sparring.
I feel a little injured at the moment, but I'm still able to move around.
But, well, it's really cool, right? Thanks a lot.
Nothing seems strange now. I'm used to it.
It's a sudden request. I have told you that there was something in my eyes, but it seems like you need an ophthalmologist.
After fracturing a bone, it took me around 3 months to heal, but now I feel like I was never hospitalized.
That's why.
3 months after the surgery, I still feel the same. The discomfort hasn't changed.
Is there something that bothers or worries you considerably?
No, not at first.
Is this the first time or something? Including all the unbelievable bite styles I've been thinking of and a number of tests later, it's piling up.
That's right, isn't it? Eyes, facial injuries.
With these cuts and so forth, it's as if they've been injured, right?
Yeah, the face.
I guess it's not too bad.
I have quite a lot of boxes, you know. It's like an ophthalmology surgery.
I hear quite a lot about eye operations being unbearably painful. Is that so? I ended up in the worst situation that I didn't want to be in.
In the midst of the match, how did you feel? Were your eyes battered, Fukai?
Yeah, when I got hit in the eye, somehow it was a bit like seeing double whenever my eyes got battered.
It's like that kind of feeling.
But now I'm seeing doubles the same way I did with Fukai, and the pain won't go away. It's somewhat like when I got beaten up, the searing pain kept on going and felt like something was off. Probably during the interval, I was thinking it might have been broken or something.
Well, during the match, it was doubly deep well, right?
It felt like I was seeing double during the match.
I'll likely be exhausted after the match too.
I feel the same way after the match. Even after the surgery, I still constantly see double and felt increasingly worse.
I can see normally now. Glad that's over.
It took quite a while indeed.
Straight ahead.
Can you move your eye? No, because it's only the right eye.
Nose.
Is it a J? That's scary, isn't it? You'd agree, Fukai. Really, my lower bones are completely swollen and hurting.
Fukai, I haven't had any mouth procedures yet, but I did see an eye doctor. I had eye surgery once, which took a few days to recover from. It was about 4 days total, during which I had quite a bit of free time. How long was the free trial period?
The surgery schedule from the trial didn't match. I had to wait for about 2 weeks.
I see, that's quite a while at the deep well.
But
Already strange.
In a strange state, Fukai, that's too fast. Something I've never experienced before.
It's very difficult, isn't it? Among all my previous problems, I'd say this pretty much takes the top spot.
That's what I think, Fukai, in a nutshell. It's not dangerous, Yanyan, right? I thought boxing would be dangerous, Fukai, but boxing is particularly not dangerous because it's all punches have here, right?
Attack!
Also saying that attacks are concentrated, there is that too anyway. The number of rounds is also, if you go 12 rounds, somehow even at 10 rounds, doing something for about 30 minutes.
And,
Well, it doesn't end easily, right? It's such a bother, isn't it? Fukai, it's quite a chore, isn't it? This video is bothersome, but if we can hear impressions about Naoki Inoue, that's for later. Even in Pikachu, Charmander, Eevee, I'm already moving up to the feather class. For once, it's such a thing that I said at a super bantamweight conference that I wanted to land properly, so hearing a bit about it would be nice. Ahead of that, I'm enjoying Mr. Clear's match quite a bit. Even since the last time we met, becoming a fan of a person, there's a spot where you become a fan.
As usual.
From an Angels talk, I had a timely and enjoyable experience. However, the camera doesn't spin around, and I heard it where it doesn't move, but something was decided. You can also tell that this person is quite confident, having come this far, and I think we'll cover that in the next video. I would also like to hear your thoughts on this tension. Thank you for watching. During the video, I hope to hear more about your practical experience as well. So, Inoue Kim has finished, and everyone thought that Inoue would win, and they did. But having watched the match, what do you think about it?
I see watching the match was enlightening in many ways. This match was postponed and even the opponent was changed, right? I believe the opponent was changed to Kim about 2 weeks or 10 days before the match.
Yes, that's correct.
But even if you think from the perspective of Inoue, it must be pretty horrible, right?
From orthodox to southpaw.
Switching.
If I had said 2 weeks ago that I did it from a southpaw stance, there would have been a lot of sparks. When I was doing it a week ago, it seemed to go well. Strategically, the battles have come to an end and all that is left is to endure the fatigue. We're getting into a phase where the opponents are changing, and from there, how the battle tactics will play out, such discussions are also being carried out. If I say that there's no time and we just have to plunge straight into the real thing, I think it has become that sort of feeling. So, the first round is more than that. No, I thought I did not see it, but even the person himself mentioned in a press conference or in an interview, there is also a pattern where he takes a punch straight on. That's a result of inadequate planning. We have had such conversations, but of course it's like saying it's obvious.
On the contrary,
quality is important.
I was completely taken aback. Have you ever had an experience where you postponed a test or something?
I don't think I've ever had to postpone a deep well, but I have been interrupted.
But how about the corona or something?
There were times when it was suspended. Right, like postponement, not having any...
Right, almost speaking, mentally it was exhausting, right? I think Fukai was exhausted.
The consistent positive feedback aimed at player Nogami was mentally reassuring and a perfect substitution.
Yeah, it's not just a break, the opponent has changed too. I think President Ohashi is also amazing, but that team is truly impressive. President Ohashi also held a press conference for this match. If Kim doesn't progress well, I thought it would be good to wait until next month, around when we had suppressed the venue once in February.
In case things had gotten even more inflationary, or if Kim was not up to scratch, a reserve had been prepared.
Or something like that.
I was also talking like that, so I thought it must be scary. That would wear down your spirit, wouldn't it? This kind of...
Would you say that it's full fan service at something like an annual meeting? It really comes across that they're thinking of the fans, and I've grown to really like it. Before getting into the specifics and technicalities of Inoue's Live Valley Kim, I'd like to talk about Sam Goodwin. Not that I dislike him, but after I made a mess in Nelly when I got in the ring, I still remember that it was really rough. But, well, I said I wanted to do it in December, and well, it's December now. So, Igami is feeling sick. Toya! Even if the December deadline is extended, it's still bad. There's a flow of it being hopeless already. So, I'm not allowing even a bit of setback. Because of that, I have a sense of not being able to let go of my nerves anymore. So I'm easing the feeling with a bit of swimming and badminton.
However,
I've come up with some names like Smackdown Man and Smug Goodbye Man. What do you think about this?
Well, that's how it is. Each player should make their own judgment, but if it were up to me, I'd go for the win. I mean, we cut it close the first time, and if this was about just getting by, I'd honestly say let's have a rematch. Cutting it too fine, pulling punches, even postponing for a month. Those are all possibilities if that's the decision we make. I would switch to mass boxing without sparing a bit to prevent being hit. Why is that? Well, don't we lack such a culture?
I don't fully understand, but I can certainly say that's the case. It's possible to open it again if you spar. It's like there's potential in doing so, don't you think so?
I used to shorten text frequently without much thought, but now I'm more mindful about it.
that's right.
Why did you suddenly start sparkling? Fight with courage.
You say you lack confidence.
That's problematic.
Even though Shimamochiron is at a disadvantage, she struggles persistently and rises up against all odds no matter what. There are also many players creating holes of pleasure while engaging in this kind of behavior for the second time, as if they bought a home for themselves.
Oh, something. Are you listening to the story?
What?
Deep.
I see that you did quite the opposite, didn't you?
You don't have to spy on me, you know, Shinwell.
Somehow I just can't do that. I should have tried my hardest in there, shouldn't I? Within my own feelings, I think...
But I guess it's safe to say the one who has been hurt the most is Sam Goodman, isn't it? It really hurt me to see such a sight. Really, it did. I swear, I swear. Naoto Igu is unmatched by any player, right? Even if someone wanted to, Kim would seize that opportunity too. Just joking, really, isn't it? I think that even if it comes to matching with Naoto Igu, the player, everyone's basically just going in for the win. But in the end, everyone is typically locked into a certain pattern. Don't they end up, especially ever since they became monsters, invariably flow into Don and Nelly apart from others? There are things that generate humor, but observing Kimu's fighting style, what did you think?
Huh? That's right. He resorted to running away.
I have absolutely no impression.
That's it.
Not especially. That's how it feels. Felt like it went by in a flash.
The match was like a battle with Volvatore, but well, that's how it goes.
There were no players. It was handled neatly. I thought if I came to win.
That's right, even if it's a deep well, you know.
Talking about the mental approach towards the player Naoya, I would say the part where my practice excelled most, right?
Right.
Wasn't it ultimately a good thing?
What?
I was saying to look out for him before the match. It's very important to have a mental perspective when fighting with Naoya. Don't you think that's something worthwhile? When I heard that statement, I thought about it, and actually... Does this mean you're not going down in the first round and you're going to attack and knock down? It's really amazing how you're saying you won't wake up unless you say it from the start. That's your mental strategy, isn't it?
I thought so. How is it? It's not something you can apply to yourself, right? How do you do it exactly?
It's tough facing a strong opponent, but perseverance is key. It's a challenge, but it becomes a habit over time, just like a batter in baseball.
Right.
Usually, you end up not being able to do anything, like not being able to lift a finger, but it's important to be brave and do something about it, right? It's tough, though, isn't it?
That's what player Naoya says, right? It's tough, isn't it?
Deep wells are tough, aren't they?
However, a strong mentality seems quite advantageous because of that, don't you think? Personally, I thought it was incredible.
How does Mr. Nakura Kurihara feel against the opposition?
I see. It's Fukaisu, right? All right. In response to opponents, even so, my favorite type is those who are above my own level. I often wonder how much I can push my limits when fighting opponents like this. I wonder what it would be like if I fought against them. That kind of curiosity or excitement is quite strong in me. I feel like I'm at my best when I'm in such a situation. Is that a mental thing?
I will try to act accordingly, with determination.
I intend to prove that I am strong more than just having a mental determination. I'm excited to see how I will turn out when I fight this opponent.
Well, it's the excitement of the unknown.
I become eager to feel this thrill, and as far as I'm concerned, it becomes a good match.
Going on. That's how I feel.
Well, what do you do when you think it's in your best interest?
Do you mean looking at matches you think are in your favor from a growth perspective or something? That's kind of what I'm leaning towards right now.
Well, it's difficult after all, isn't it?
That part.
That's the most difficult part, isn't it? Even if you think you're going to win, the matches you think you're going to have a hard time with are the toughest. Even for me, there are matches I think are going to be particularly hard that I don't particularly want to play, but I keep going because that's the way it is. When it's almost certain that I'll win, I feel mentally weak. That's how I feel now.
The theme of the...
It is a crucial part. It's deep, isn't it? Various aspects of mental stability are that important.
It makes you think, doesn't it?
It was tough, wasn't it? Picking up Neris.
Of the hand,
Any statement is also special.
Because of this hand, Nell is being told various things. And because he has done various things, there are some places where you can't support. But I like such places. But after all, I will continue to love you with that feeling. So Neri player's words jump a bit, but Keionosuke Mita is also doing it.
That's right, isn't it?
Even when discussing various topics, the conversation still returns to Kimu's story. This is intriguing as it was recently announced and has piqued my interest as well. The most surprising for me was the day when Nelly received support from the Japanese people. That's about it. Are you saying the brand of Ueda is strong? That could be a bad thing too, you know.
But still...
Of the athlete, Misaki Fukai.
The dislikes are really cool, right? For sure.
Afraid.
Yes, I first learned about it when I saw your tweet, Mima. I'm not sure what country Mark that Mexican is representing, but I do feel like he's challenging Japan in some way.
I wonder.
From the moment you implied things, I started watching this thread.
I feel like a backlash is starting from somewhere and we're all being watched. It's unsettling. It feels like we're hated. Wow, that's impressive.
Yeah, right.
It seems that such things are written for the Japanese who fight against the selected player.
It's amazing, isn't it? Kind of funny. There are some parts that might make you say, wait, what? And there are some thoughts that it's a bit scary. But there are times when it happens. Looking at the part where the athlete Kyoto's father is shown, isn't he just a normal good kid?
He's not a bad guy at all.
And I think so too, but he's definitely a show-off. If you criticize his statement, it's deliberate.
Pissed.
There are many fans who would probably think about it because that brand of neuter has already got a stamp. So, yeah. But I can't say for sure what it is. It's being noticed, isn't it? So you should go on. Even while there are many performances, that part tends to be worrisome. Why am I so hated? Because I'm human, I care, and there's definitely that. And here, I think that's too bad. That's also the case.
Well, I hardly know about him. I really only know what I can see from his posts, or only a little I don't know. So I can't understand much more than that, but certainly it's something.
When you look at areas like Shirusan's, quite good places have come out.
It's normal, isn't it? Just something normal, feels like an ordinary person, not at all something unusual. Even with a lot of commotion, the protagonist's character comes across as pushing his character forward, especially when the camera is facing him. Fukai is the one doing that, right? In the end, what Taiki-san is doing is all character.
Saying that, I think it's...
In my opinion, Mr. Fukai, you must keep developing and not let things stagnate. I think he's also got motivation, so from my perspective, looking from the outside, that's how it seems. I'm not just a fan, I embrace that aspect of myself. Mr. Fukai, you must keep developing and not let it stagnate. During my last conversation with Mr. Kurihara, he expressed a different perspective that I comprehend. However, I still admire fighters who pursue such domains. I believe I'm becoming a fan of Mr. Kurihara as well. I appreciate athletes who prioritize sportsmanship over flashy performances.
Thank you very much.
Even so, I'll continue in my own style. I want to see players who perform well under pressure. I would say it's a necessary evil, but that makes it sound even worse.
It would be boring if everyone was the same. That's my point.
Yeah. I'm an outsider looking in, so I think there are probably a lot of people who feel the same way as I do. Not saying I hate everything per se, but I look at it and go, I don't like that. It's mostly feelings, in the sense of having feelings. That's also entertainment. Isn't it that without the bad guy in a movie, it wouldn't be interesting, right?
Right, I want the hero role.
Aren't you going to watch the movie saying, I wish he died soon? It won't be interesting if you don't feel like you've had enough of it. It's not there. I hate it after all. I think entertainment needs emotion, so it's not that I hate it, but I can't beat it in the end.
Nelly, even considering things like your brother's weight, it's a bit hard, you know?
Strong. So
Good.
Well, Nelly is strong, isn't she? How do we beat that?
Kyoto, the athletes in the race, has,
I think...
Right. Why did you accept it? Why did you take that test? I can't quite understand that part.
Why is that?
Right. The direct elected player, Inoue, won, and I also won. I'm not sure if I want to raise my stock here. I also want to try to be great.
But I'm winning. I guess there is confidence, right? I think that's true. Hey, I'll watch the game and I think it's kind of fun to see Nelly win. How do you feel about Japanese players disliking Kyonosuke so much that they support Nelly, who has been pulled down by doping and has gained weight and has played the role of Japan's hero, Yamanaka Shinji?
Well, that's how it is. Anyway.
Is it a usual post by player Kyonosuke? Well, it's natural after all. Is that so? Well, now is beloved by all after all.
Yeah, player.
Even the things you do with your hand, you criticize a lot.
Doing it, grumbling.
They say that's likely to be disliked, especially among boxing fans, because there are quite a lot of fans of honest athletes there. They're likely to be disliked.
I forgot about that.
That was there.
I see.
I had forgotten. Yikes.
I think it's somehow cute. If I'm disliked, I can cover a wide range. It's like, they're coming from all kinds of places. That's how it feels.
His mental side is interesting, isn't it? Something like that. I want to have a conversation once. It's like a type that gets motivated by being disliked. I'd show you that, hey, I can live with hate. Not that it's bad, but...
But somehow, I want to support this player Kyonosuke, like me.
It's somehow a struggle for people who know me at a light level. If the cast comes out and you see something nice, you might change your mind a little bit.
That seems right, Light. Wait a minute. Maybe that isn't so good for that business.
Yes.
The business could potentially collapse. Daiki Taga also came, putting all his effort into it, just like that. The comments were quite a lot, weren't they? I used to dislike it, but not anymore. It's not bad, right? Something amazing caught my eye from above. Jan is active now.
Despite being retired, he still has an incredible presence. Deep.
I agree with you, Ike. Talking about Bokusing was quite interesting, so I don't dislike it.
Saying Yan Yan is a good person feels great, doesn't it?
Fukai may not be a saint, but he's not evil either. Yan Yan shares this sentiment. Those close to Fukai believe he's a good person. While I can't definitively say he's good, I appreciate his kindness towards me. People think he's a bit wicked, but he's not bad to me. I won't call him good or bad. That's what I mean, Fukai.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah, I can confidently say that people like Kuchi Furashu and Sorekoso Kurihara-san are also good. Isn't that the case after all? It's what everyone thinks, and it's not wrong, is it? But still, I also really like Daiki-san, but still, have confidence this person is a good person.
However, in the end, in spite of everything,
On the contrary, it wasn't that long and I couldn't speak, so it was just an appropriate talk, and I'm sorry. To everyone. Next, to all fans, I'm sorry. That's how it is. Jay and Nelly, it's deep when I say I'm leaving. The featherweight title match has been decided to player Ichida Angelo Rey. Yan Angelo has won that super champion, right? Kobayashi forgot the name though. He took the belt with the banger, and it's a deep well. Who is it? Yan. Do you know Ferdinand? I'm sorry, I definitely don't know with my comments. I'm boxing.
in detail.
Yeah, and it seems to say it doesn't exist.
Yun.
I'm also told something. There's a deep well that has saved me.
Ropes.
Like that. Bernard is nicknaming it Ropes.
Oh yeah, the player who won against player Aba.
Fukai, I think he will become champion against Hatoyama in match 5 in May, which is interesting. However, there might be challenges waiting for Igami too, which is also intriguing. But I don't know much about it yet. Yan, Angelo Leon Fukai.
That's right, I don't know much about it.
Yeah, Yan, that's also interesting.
I see.
The names of Inada and Inoue Naoya are a little long. That's why it sounds like Fukai.
Well, once again, if the feeder goes in, it's definitely a fly right away.
Well, to be frank, I think the chances of Naoya Inoue's opponents getting hot and heavy are quite high. But again, it's a bit rude to say that. It's challenging, isn't it? In the featherweight division, there's talk of a Figaro-Fulton rematch, which is certainly within Figaro's realm.
Oh, how is that possible? Fulton can definitely win this.
I think so. It's quite unusual, isn't it, really?
Oh, is that so? It's like that, isn't it?
Speaking of feather class, it's player Naoya.
Let's begin discussing the feather class.
Hey, let's begin.
Well, it's a knockout.
Do you know what a knockout is? Yan. I've started watching it recently and I quite like it. I was shocked to see how tall Shenjing is.
Yan.
105.
It's 17 centimeters, like a regular minima level in Fukai.
Gray.
Of the body length.
From there, it's Yan, right? After that, it's about feather level, and from there, it's already solid. Really deep well, right? Yan Pon. That fight style is pretty much my type. I really like it. Deep well. Go strong. Yan Izak, kind of like deep well. I like that type. Yeah, Yan.
Yan really it's strategic.
Yeah, go.
Hardening.
It's fast, isn't it? What do you think about player Naoya Inoue?
Huh? So what will happen? Is it about player Naoya?
Yeah, exactly. That's right.
Yeah, it's difficult to say how it will unfold, isn't it? However, how was that first battle at the feature level? How was that fight? Did the player fight physically on his first battle after ranking up?
And
breaking through the toughness of that block?
That being said, continuous attacks are quite effective, so it's a counter through timing, similar to a Maroni battle.
Sort of like that.
Yeah.
I thought they would consider it, but they may have assumed that I have the spinning power or something like that.
Yeah.
Mouthpiece, shall I return it? It's deep well, isn't it? Distance keeping is quite difficult, isn't it? Especially against that type. Inoue isn't bad at infighting, unlike Fukai. Since Fukai isn't weak in that area, we can revise the distance from another perspective. That's the first step, and we must follow it slowly. Even if they are drawn into a close distance and forced to go down, they can be constantly pursued and continue, leading to such development. I don't want to, but I feel like there's no way about it.
Because you are an old house player, that's why.
It's Kanezo, right?
I can imagine the place where I lose.
Though I can't visualize Yone Fukai, Inoue Naoshi likely holds the advantage, even if both are resolute. I haven't seen a fighter stronger than Inoue Naoshi. Fiji Cal is touted as strong, but I think Donnie has to agree if told Fiji Cal is strong. It seems Nick Bohr agrees.
That's the first thing.
I think Nick Bohr is gonna win, right? That's what it seems like. I quite like Nick Bohr. I like that kind of style. It's kind of like Tsuji. He's like a southern pole constantly being chased.
Forest.
Igami's player Yapari Donaire and Nelly made this match less dangerous. It's a left hook counter. I remember that timing. I thought it wasn't dangerous for a moment, but that's when they take aim. If they get closer, it's not close distance, but rather a medium left distance. You'd think it's a bit of a screw up, right? That's where a knuckleball becomes incredibly powerful.
It's like a deep well, quite significantly.
Whether it's a swung left hook or a big left hook, I've used them all.
The ball is
Doing
So when I actually went to take the counter, when it hit me, that's what I think is fun, yan. It was like that even when I was doing it with the Neri player, Momon deep well indeed.
When I hit it with my timing, the left hook, that angle, I think it was invisible, you know.
That's how it is, you know.
Right, even in Fukai.
You can get it, right? Sure.
On left hook?
I have never climbed up a feather machine till now. For instance, things like Figueroa or Espinoza. Most likely there are ones about 5 feet 11 inches, but what happens when you fight with one that's bigger than you? I was curious about it, but recently, in reverse, being smaller and focusing on speed, yet having heavy punches, the physicals are strong. What will happen if I fight with one? That's my point.
In reverse.
I've started thinking a little, about him. For example, when it starts to resemble a flute, flutters and feels familiar, but it's just like a taparez, gets smaller, what happens when it becomes really tiny? On the contrary, if the preceding press is strong and it goes deep, then what?
Well, definitely. Regarding the player who is adept at long distances, they don't particularly struggle with the distance. I think they have proven that. There probably aren't any players who just keep coming, not during their career, right?
It's so small, isn't it? I'm wondering how it's going to be in my point of view. When they mentioned Nick Burrell's name at the press conference, I was like, wow. Tite.
絶対あ、見たな。で、一番じゃあ、みたいと。
H. It might be the best. Before, it was places like Figueroa and Espinosa. I thought I wanted to see a long, big one. But somehow, there's an interesting feeling inside me, wondering what'll happen to me instead.
エスピノザよりはフィギュアの方が僕は見たいかな。
ティア、そうですか。フィギュアも面白いですもんね。面白いですね。あれも強いから。強いですね。で、イケメンですしですね。ずるいよね。イケメンボクサー TT ずるくないですか？ずるいです。イヌエ、直行選手もやっぱりイケメンですけど、やっぱりもらわないからイケメンじゃないですか。でもフィギュアテーテ A もうガンガンもらっているけど、どうやってあの顔を守っているのて A。
本当ですね。なんす。
系の意外と流してるんですか
ね。
あえねですよ。
ね、花 TS ブレてるもんですけどね。僕さ、
でそう。
Naoya, you're quite intense talking like that in the classroom.
My mouth feels dry and there's some residue around my mouth here. 肉っぽくなるよね。深いそうですね。口筋肉がつい。10日深い。
Well, I began boxing, and before I knew it, I was here.
I see. It's quite deep, isn't it? Even in terms of the mouth, one can get smacked right away. Is there anything else that piques your curiosity? How about you? What's up over there?
What about the deep well? I don't quite understand it.
Indeed, it gets pretty deep, doesn't it? I feel like the deep well is thickening a little here and there or somewhere, keeping such words. The athletes who are very dense really deep well.
Indeed.
Even in terms of counterattacks, we're not weak, right?
The spear is...
Don't you think so?
Deep well.
It is. There is a theory, isn't it, Fukai? But is it really true that it's been strengthened by that? That's how it seems, right? That level of pheasant is interesting, isn't it? But before that, I'm going to do it with the Picasaur and Las Vegas, who are standing by. That's how it is, Fukai. Do the plan.
I see, isn't it? In Las Vegas, they are doing a Pygocentris in Afumadari. It's true.
Saying Picasso, I really don't know it, right, Fukai?
The Picassos. I really don't understand them either. Tall body, Mexican.
Saying as you like. Image.
It's a lively battle strategy.
That's what I think.
Well, look at the block.
Also using the movements on the side.
Even though I'm quite tall, my body is more of the straight type.
Well, I'm a player who excels in parts like that.
I mean, I have the impression that he's strong even if you're close to him, like Naoyasu Ijima, and I think there won't be a problem even in deep wells.
No mistake.
There is a significant difference in physical appearance.
It feels like that is going to happen.
That happened, huh? My speed and power have left me breathless.
Isn't it? It's becoming...
To that extent, it's more fun with an uppercut.
I find Fukai's approach more intriguing. Many thanks.
Is it the same for you, Fukai? I've been going on for a while, getting quite a bit of criticism.
Really, Fukai?
Like being assumed to be an Apple fan? The most fun part is being a super fan of Yan Afadalev.
Yeah, in the Super Bantam.
I think so too. Even so, I think Inoue will win. I'd rather see Picasso. Regardless, I'll probably end up doing it with the two of them. In April, Picasso. In July, Kanafadref freebie, right? Yan. If I move forward, I can probably also feather the nickel bolt within the year.
Is it about Deepwell? What number is this year? Will we form a team or will it become 4? It's not going to disappear, right?
Well, Yan, right? Since it has been postponed and I entered in a month, if I think so, it could be nice and feathered to the Deepwell Yan. It's clear, isn't it, Deepwell? Oh, that the bat said. But Pikachu is definitely doing it, I guess.
Yan Pikachu is already, right?
And Fukai Fumadari F with Yan.
Even if Yana Fumadari F ultimately it will not become, right? But still something like this. Stomach. It makes me hungry.
Will the part of the exhibition come out, I wonder?
I think so.
No matter how small, I think the pressure of the physical ball is strong. Even right in front of the knuckleball, it feels impenetrable.
Indeed.
Sure, it's just the South Pole, but it's physical, strong, and indisputable. I haven't seen them in person, but their arms seem long compared to their height. Their reach appears extremely long.
Have you seen a match between player Tapples and player Naoya? It's the most exhilarating match in the Super Bantam group. I remember the impression of taking quite a few punches that you'd think were harsh. Do you think the match will turn out like that?
I feel like it's going to happen like that because I lost to Tapeles, and at Afmadayev it got a bit heated and escalated, didn't it? I kept fighting, followed by player Naoya after that.
So...
Yeah, it was quite tense there. Promoter Erihan's been doing well, you see. That person is me. I think I'm the most naive promoter. It's intriguing to see their progress, right? I had an unexpected interview with Eli Han yesterday. I did see it, but I absolutely told them that it's definitely not something like Upper Diafuto. Probably doesn't think it's Pikasuto either. I think they are more likely the challenger for A, but saying that they want to overthrow A could mean that it's not Upper Diafuto at all. So I wonder what it will be. Are they genuinely building suspense, or is it their true belief? I don't understand, though.
It's something like, I don't know, like they're saying they want to escape from something.
Hey, that's
a bit unpleasant, isn't it?
You'll do it regardless of what I say, won't you? That's what I expect, because that's how it is, you know?
The reason why I'm so frustrated is because in reality, Afmadariev lost to Tapares.
That's right.
That's how it happened.
It's just a joke.
Say it if you want to.
Win them all.
You can do it.
Just go.
Wow, you really did it.
That's right.
So,
such things
we'll become like this, saying Yan, right? The fans, and I think so. But it's most interesting when Afdari Efu is there.
Yan, the power is definitely there.
Well, it's strong, right? But that too, Inoue Yuki wins, soaring up all the way to the ball.
Did it.
But even after that, I thought I would win, but let's make it a victory. Let's turn into a Super Bowl again. Is that what you're saying? Is that Nakatani?
Such a thing.
That's all there is. There's nothing else.
I always thought it would be nice to have someone to compete with, but now I'm not so sure.
It's a tough thing to say, I thought.
That's a pretty good statement, too.
Yeah, that's quite profound, isn't it? So, are you gonna do it with Nakatani?
What's that? A belt on the level of Super Bantam will go back and rise to Phaser.
Ah, it's a profound matter, isn't it? You're going to go along as it is now, aren't you?
Oh!
Somehow this thing has been deeply divided.
If you win a feather class bout, you hold the same level of belt at the same time. It's quite deep.
I'm just a little boxing, I don't know around there, but can I hold it at the same time? Only...
That's not easy.
Can you do it?
It seems like...
The player who did it seems to have that kind of feeling too.
I have a feeling that it's better to go with the one who's mouthy. If that's the case, I'd like to do it as a unified battle with Nakatani and the player from the 4 groups.
It's a bit unimaginable to say that we're doing this with Fukai's non-title.
That's what I'm saying.
However, how would you say it? It might be something different. Only boxing fans were watching. Just because it's said and done. That's why...
Not particularly.
There.
Well, in the worst case, there's Hashimoto. Go up the ladder, grab the belt, and return the ladder. He says he'll do it again, just like Kanera did.
However, isn't that not it? Afterwards, it continues to change into feathers because...
You have to go back, right? Hachiguchi fails once and Fukai once.
Fall once.
Doing already.
Immediately reverse. Super Banta?
Mewa!
Return everything towards the unification of the Fizar group.
I'm going to... Right? Isn't that so?
Higuchi is as interesting as ever, isn't he? Fizar class dangers aren't a problem. If I defeat Yapari, Nick Paul, and anyone else I claim I will. There's no risk, correct? However, even if it's safe, what happens if I'm defeated? That move of Igami's really threw me off. Now I'm a little scared.
Right?
When Nakatani moves up to super bantamweight, he may struggle against the division's top fighters. It's concerning because the outcome is uncertain.
Before facing Tadabayashi, there were matches that he wanted to do, but I guess he would have to face stronger opponents. It would be interesting to see Naoesu's competition and his opponents, won't it?
Yeah, right? He has risen to the level of a big resistance, a feather class, and that's exactly the situation. Really full throttle.
Is also certain.
That's how it is, isn't it? Conversely, Nakatani could rise to the feather class. It's not impossible, right? It's not.
I see. He must absolutely be considering the feather class for future.
What do you think, personality-wise? I think the sincerity of Nakatani would suit the feather class much better.
So the feather class would elevate Nakatani's sincerity?
That's personal.
That's what I think, yes.
You know, it's not like I can do anything.
Yes.
Yeah, it's big in frames too. I'd say it's on the level of a gigantic beast, and it's impressive even after it's been scaled up once. It's a really impressive physical aspect.
Certainly.
Then the professional athletes level up, making the superhuman beast more and more powerful.
Strong. Improving speed and strength makes things more exciting.
That's what I believe. After all, I'm probably the strongest. Becoming a featherweight with Nakatani? Not likely.
As for Fukai, the possibility isn't likely either.
Really, what do you think about player Inoue? Which class fits him the best?
Oh, how so? Right? He's still up and at it, after all.
His mouth.
Sure, definitely sure.
No matter what, today's weight is made public, Yoshinoe player. At plus 7 kilograms, Kim is a plus. Did Fukai-san say it was 11 or 12 kilos? It seems like that. It's 12 kilos, right? You said you gained 12 kilos.
Fukai, that's impressive, isn't it? It's not an easy level to achieve.
I see. How did you manage to look so slim, Fukai? It's quite impressive how you lost weight.
Even though it's Fukai, I really think you can drop the last few pounds by next week.
Sure.
She's really getting into water fetching.
No, can't go without it.
I see.
What is it, Mr. Kurihara say? Is it by kilo?
Your body is about 6 kilos, isn't it, Mr. Fukai? It's not like I'm super skinny. I'm not at all. On the contrary, while looking at the hearse, I feel like I'm becoming straight. It's like I'm being pulled. It is.
I feel like that.
Indeed, mouth and foot are deeply ingrained.
It's a typhoon.
It's not like I'm becoming a feather, right? I guess. Physically, it's almost impossible to change like that. But because it's Fukai, it's the opposite, right? After almost a year past, I thought it's quite tough at the level of Super Bantam.
Indeed, player Nakata.
Just say go ahead and you can do it.
Even in this situation, a feasible plan is to let Nick take the belt and Junior Nakaya can move up to featherweight. It's totally possible. There's no reason to fall, is there?
Well, I think it's more interesting that there is a win-loss theory than Matsui saying he will be visible in the featherweight, but we'll see, right? The Nagoya player, now in his early 30s, is approaching that point. So, though he is getting older, he is still a professional player. He is young?
It seems so.
Really? How many years have passed, Fukai? I don't care at all anymore. Is that so?
I see. How old were you, Kuchihara-san?
Fukai is now 30.
It's 32. Kuchi is 32 years old. Why, Fukai? Is that so? What? It is to the mouth. But even as a warrior, as a boxer, I can't say I'm young.
However.
But in general, 32 is still considered young, isn't it?
Right. You don't really feel it, do you, Fukai?
Isn't it? I mean, Mr. Horowashi and Zuto Senpai seem older than us, right, Fukai? Ah, that's right, isn't it? But, Flash-san is around 35, right? Yan. Ah, was it? I'm sorry, Flash. Around Sana 35, 36, 37 Fukai, I believe. That's how it is, right, Yan? Well then, he's the same age as my younger brother. Fukai, really? Yan turning 32 today, he's 32.
Fukai, congratulations.
When I think about it, Yan being 32 is somewhat surprising.
Fukai, when I said I'm 32, I'm actually quite the veteran in my field.
I'm entering that realm.
As I get older. When you're young, you often don't understand, and it goes away. Even if you say in my boxing history it's already been 17 years.
Well, if I retire from boxing, what will I do in that time? What will I do? Wow, that sounds serious. I'm troubled. That's right, no? If you have free time, what do you want to do with Mr. Full Rice? Like hobbies or something. If I ask Full Launch Stand, what is something Full Launch Stand does when he has time? Either I think of two things or I go to the gym. Or I do road work. That don't change, you know. In the end, you either give it your all, despite the possibility of failure, or you don't even try.
Something like that anyway. Even if I retire, I think I'll do something fitness related. I like boxing. I'll probably go with that. After retirement, I'd like to keep doing exercises similar to what I'm currently doing. That's what I want anyway.
But still, I'm quite serious about this.
Keeping my health at a reasonable level is crucial.
I usually feel like a sandbag. I want to go on a rampage.
Yeah, it seems that way, doesn't it? Dealing with bankruptcy and other stressful issues is a lot. Muscle training doesn't interest me much.
Yeah, I guess I like deep well muscle training, so maybe I'll do muscle training as well. If you train well, your body will move quite a bit.
That's likely. It's okay to say it's a hobby, isn't it? It's good to have many hobbies.
Deep well, is it really such a hobby? Maybe not. So, on your days off, you don't do anything else?
So have you been married for a long time? When did you get married? I'm about 25 years old, give or take. I've been married for 7 years. That's a long time, isn't it, Fukai? Yes, it is.
Have you ever traveled with Ms. Oku?
No, I haven't. That's right. With Yorai.
Oh, with mommy.
Is it from Kuchioku-san?
Travel.
Or should we go to Disney? I don't have anything like that in mind.
I see. Because Fukai likes Disney, we often go to Disney.
Can you take me with you?
But it can be a bit annoying. You can go with someone other than me if you want.
Well, that's okay. I guess Disney is fine either way. I don't quite understand the fun of Disney.
I like discovering new things. I enjoy new experiences. That's why I also like to travel abroad. There are things I want to do myself, but I've been to Disney many times, so when I come here, I wonder if that's there.
Or maybe it's not there.
Even if I ride the same attraction, I don't understand a little.
I've never been there before, have I? I definitely want to go there, but I think the place is kind of annoying because there are so many people. And I don't really like roller coasters, so isn't it funnier to be at the double punch attraction? I really don't understand.
Right, to meet Mickey, we have to queue for about an hour.
Wait.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, no.
With reason.
It's over if she wants to go. Even Tiefenbrunnen is strict. Disney's yeah levels are immeasurable and unreasonable. It's absurd to say go alone, huh? Is that so? That's how it is. A wife who can go to Disney alone is definitely a keeper. It'd be great if she went with her friends.
That's right, huh? It'd be nice to also bring the kids along.
Oh, well, that's Shenjing for you.
While doing my job, I also did boxing and the likes.
I like it.
That's what I've been doing, Win, just so you know.
Tell me the job, because I can translate it.
By the way, Clear-san taught me this now.
Shenjing, I'll translate what I said.
It is. I am Manabu Fukami. I am boxing. Of course. Well, that's interesting, isn't it? Even if you're driven to the edge, keep doing your job. Boxing related.
Your love for boxing could make it a great second career to consider. It would keep you active and engaged. Think about gradually pursuing opportunities related to boxing.
Think about it recently. Stop.
Mima?
I started thinking about it this year. I didn't think about anything until that point from last year or something.
Regardless of having a family, I'm retiring.
I'm single. Feels sort of lonely.
That's it.
Lately, it's been a bit... If I retire like this and contemplate on how to live after that, it becomes very painful. I told my mental coach about this and consciously considered it.
For example,
I'm trying, but my mind is blank. Even with an unavailable mouth.
is it not very interesting, like a trainer, nurturing athletes?
I see. That's what it's like for trainers, isn't it, Fukai? Not really interested in that.
It isn't.
Sounds like Kaneson is interested.
Well, I am proud to be a player chosen by Fukai, but I want to be more than just a player. I mean, I will also use more time, and to be honest, I don't have confidence that I can go as far as dealing with people. Because it's my own life, and it's also related to my family's life, I can be more assertive about it. But when it comes to other people's lives... Problem solving as a trainer also significantly.
Cheap salary.
I can't even afford it, you know.
If you're saying he has this heat, he's completely unconvinced.
I have to admit, it's a bit of a mouthful.
Nutrition, food ingredients, the method of water removal.
I'm very interested in that, Mr. Fukai.
Right. Not particularly about teaching someone or anything like that, but I would love to get involved in some way, like bringing what I have into practice. It could be something beneficial for the artistic gymnasts as well.
Is that so?
I want to put it to use somehow. I don't want to abandon it just like that. I think I want to make something out of it.
It feels like a waste, doesn't it? I don't want to waste it, but I'm not thinking about the time. Retiring at this age is also an option, isn't it?
It's deep, right? I haven't set a time limit so far.
I thought so.
Time. It comes naturally with time.
Unexpectedly.
Still.
No matter what. Why? Actually, I'm really looking forward to it. Thanks, Minami. I'm sure everyone else is too. In the next video, there will be a forecast of Tenshin's boss Brownie and some big toy bees. I think it will be nice to hear various things about the players' matches and other things. Plus, something is said about Tenshin. The story behind that match makeup was flowing quite a bit. I think I will be able to say it in a context where I can slightly reveal. I want to hear various things, so everyone please look forward to the next video and clear the alarm. Since it's in the description, please follow from there. Yes, please. Another is the registration of that channel. Please smash that button. Please smash that button too. Yes, see you again next month. Bye.